It is your girl, the Moon Goddess Lame, your favorite tarot reader, and I'm back with another general energy check-in for the collective. I have meditated over the energy, I have shuffled the decks, and I have pulled the overall energy for today's reading. So for today's overall energy, we have the Justice card, we have the Page of Swords, we have love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction, and we have the Sword and the Rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. So guys, yesterday we were talking about how the separation between you and the person on your mind was, that rejection was a form of divine protection. You guys are now pulling back into yourself and reevaluating everything that transpired, and you are finding the blessing and the lessons that you have learned up to this point, okay? With the Justice card being here, you can expect for the scales to start to balance out. Anytime we step away from something, we make space for something bigger and greater. Anytime something comes to an end, that ending begets a new beginning. So you have now catapulted yourself on the journey of self-love. With the Love card being here and the Sword and the Rose being here, the affection and all the passion and energy that you are pouring into others, you are now pouring into yourself. And because you're pouring so much love into yourself, or you're going to start pouring so much love into yourself, you can start to expect to have a lot of clarity around situations that have happened, but also you will be able to better trust your discernment moving forward. You'll be able to, utilize your intuition better because you'll be more connected with yourself. You'll be more in tune with yourself. Mind, body, and spirit will all be one. All right, tell me more, Holy Spirit. This is definitely a time for focusing on you, for implementing those boundaries that are going to beget protection, for falling in love with yourself, because when you love yourself, you won't play about yourself, which means others are not going to play about you. You're taking time to study yourself, relearn yourself, because after an ending, you necessarily aren't the same person. So you have to take time to relearn yourself and figure yourself out all over again. And then that justice starts to come in, okay? The scales start to balance, things start to make sense. All right, we have the Five of Swords, so you guys are having a lot of internal conflict at this time. With the Hangman being here, it is time for you guys to switch the perspective. Stop looking at this situation from a victimized standpoint. You are not a victim in this situation. Everything that has transpired is for your own good and for you to step into your own power and recognize your divinity, okay? So instead of looking at it like I failed, or looking at it like this person doesn't want me, or I can't hold on to a man, I can't hold on to a woman, you need to be looking at this like this is time for me to really get my shit together, focus on me, focus on my life that I'm living, focus on my goals. What do I want for myself? A lot of you guys invest your all into your significant other. You invest your all into romantic relationships, and you leave very little room for yourself. You do not prioritize yourself. You feel like putting yourself first means you're taking away from the prioritization of the people that you love, and that's just not the case. When you love yourself so much to put yourself up on a pedestal and prioritize yourself, you're showing everybody around you how to deal with you, and you are showing them that you will not put yourself on a back burner. And when you have that boundary set up, there is nobody that can come in and play you. There's nobody that can come in and take advantage of you. There's nobody that can come in and manipulate you and use you, because you're so in tune with yourself and you're so in tune with what you want for yourself that no one is going to be able to come in and knock you off your track, okay? But first, you have to get to this place of really knowing yourself, really loving yourself, really understanding yourself, and then getting comfortable with the power that you have to set boundaries and not let anybody push those boundaries or push you off of your square when it comes to implementing your boundaries. Tell me more, Spirit. And I want to make a point, like with the Five of Swords being here, why I say this is an internal conflict that you guys are having is Swords cards are air, it represents air energy. So your air signs, it represents thinking, it represents, you know, what is going on a mental level, okay? But in this card particular, in the background, you can see there's a lot of chaotic water. It's almost like during a hurricane when the oceans start to go crazy and you're trying to find balance amongst all of this craziness. This internal conflict that you're having right now is because you're battling between your head and your heart. And right now, Spirit wants you to choose your head so that you can put your heart back into the right place, which is focusing on yourself. Your heart is still very much attached to someone else. So you have to put head over heart. And then once you get your head in order, your heart will follow, okay? And 2 more, please, Spirit. Thank you. We have the Magician. Two more shuffles and I'll pull from the top. Thank you. We have the Three of Swords. All right, so we have the Magician, we have the Three of Wands, I apologize. So with the Magician card being here, again, you see that this person is on their own and they are transmuting energy. They are alchemizing energy. That is what it is time for you to do. That pain, that heartache. Let me tell you guys something. When I started getting serious about doing readings and doing tarot, it was because I was at a very, very, very low point in my life. My heart was completely broken. It was completely shattered. I was in a dark place. I was not in a good space. And I utilized that pain and transmuted it into something beautiful, which is me now providing readings to the collective on YouTube, TikTok, personal readings, so on and so forth. So when I say transmute your pain into power, this is what I'm talking about. Energy is energy, whether it's negative energy or positive energy. And as long as your mental is in the right place, you can manipulate energy and turn it into something beautiful and tangible. With the Three of Wands here, this is indicating that you have the personal power and the personal motivation to physically transmute this energy that you're feeling and turn it into something great, to propel yourself into a new state of being, to propel yourself into a new way of being, okay? A lot of you have goals, aspirations that you can't even begin to touch because you have been so caught up in love and love interest and putting all your eggs in one basket. And it's time for you to take those same eggs and put them in the basket of yourself. Bank on yourself. Choose yourself. Choose your power. Choose to love yourself so fiercely that anybody who approaches you has to have their own shit together. Their esteem has to be so high and they have to be so well put together that they have to have themselves so put together in order to approach you, okay? In order to have a conversation with you. That's how high up on a pedestal you need to bring yourself. What happens is you guys have a tendency to suffer a breakup and then you bring yourself up on a high pedestal, but you don't keep yourself there. You find someone that you're interested in and you bring yourself down. You find someone that you're interested in, you bring yourself down, you bring yourself down, you bring yourself down so that you can meet them on their level, but you're not requiring them to step the fuck up to meet you at the level that you're trying to resonate at. The level of happiness, the level of joy, the level of abundance, the level of financial stability and security, the level of being bougie, being able to pop out, do what it is that you want because your finances are together, your emotions are together, your spirit is together, and you physically feel excellent. All things come together. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you have to get to this place where you are so in love with yourself and where you're transmuting this energy that you're manifesting beautiful things for yourself. Your thoughts control your feelings, and your thoughts create your reality and control your reality. If there are things that are unfavorable to you in your reality, then you need to change the way that you're looking at it. You need to change your thought process on it. Always think in your favor. The collective has a habit of resonating more with pain than they do with pleasure. And you guys have to get to a point where you resonate with pleasure more than you resonate with pain, okay? All right, Spirit, tell me more. All right, we have the Four of Swords. And that actually came out crossing over the Hanged Man. Too many. All right, I'm going to take all of these. So we have Ace of Swords. We have Death and Rebirth, the Ace of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Emperor. All right, so we had the Four of Swords come out crossing over the Hanged Man. You guys know that you have to take a period of time out in solitude, and a lot of you are not comfortable with being by yourself and being in your own energy, and that alone speaks volumes. That means you don't like yourself. Sit with that for a minute. You don't want to be alone. You're afraid to be alone. And it's all because you don't like yourself. You don't want to face yourself. And until you face yourself, you're always going to be looking at things from a victimized standpoint. You have to be accountable for the choices you've made up to this point. You have to be accountable for the decisions that you've made up to this point. You have to be accountable for the treatment that you allowed and accepted up until this point. And when you are by yourself, those are the thoughts that run through your mind, and those are the thoughts that you run from. But if you would just sit with that for a minute, you would recognize that that is how you transmute the energy. You take responsibility, you take accountability, and that's what gives you your power. And once you do that, you'll come into this Ace of Swords energy, which is a new thought process, a new way of thinking about things. Your thoughts being in your favor, which leads to a favorable 3D, which leads to a favorable reality, which leads to you having, being, and doing whatever the fuck you want with no barriers. All right, it is time to put this old version of you to death and rebirth as this powerful individual who has never been hurt before, okay? Because hurt people continue to hurt people. So if you are going to forgive yourself and forgive others, that means that when you are putting yourself back out there, you're putting yourself out there with a renewed heart and a renewed mind, not from the trauma of the past relationships. Because if you're still maneuvering in the trauma, then you haven't changed the perspective and you haven't done the work that's needed to transmute that energy so that you can move on and move forward. A lot of you want this person that's on your mind that we were discussing yesterday, and that's fine. You just need to get yourself to a place where you're comfortable being on that pedestal and make that person step up to the plate instead of you constantly bringing yourself down to their level, okay? What I will tell you, though, is that you do have a boss that is planning on entering your life once you do come into this powerful transmuted version of yourself, with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor card being here, okay? This is this could be earth sign energy, or this could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. For your earth signs, you have Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Or this could be your sign that you are going to be stepping into a position of power within your own life, and your abundance is going to be increasing, your prosperity is going to be increasing, and just the way that you look at these, look at the men on these cards. Do they look like they have low self-esteem? Do they look like they give a fuck about what anybody has to say? Or do they look like they're chilling in their own vibe comfortably? Do you hear what I'm saying? There is comfort and power in having comfortability with being alone. And once you all get to that stage of being comfortable, being on your own, being accountable for your decisions, transmuting that energy, figuring out what it is that you want, and creating goals for yourself, and then making a strategic plan to achieve those goals, changing your thought process by thinking in your favor, laying to rest the old version of yourself that accepted this muck treatment, renewing your heart and purifying yourself with self-love, and overindulging yourself in self-love, so that you can now enter into this energy of King of Pentacles and Emperor energy, real boss energy, real I run shit energy, real I am the main fucking character energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right, let's go ahead and get a couple of messages of encouragement to close out the reading. Holy Spirit, thank you for this message thus far. Thank you for the clarity that has been provided up to this point. What closing messages do you have for the collective? I don't take cards off the floor, so 1 second. I'll reshuffle. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So you guys see, what did I tell you guys? You have to go into this hermit mode. You have to take time by yourself. You're going to have to go into a small period of solitude where you're cutting out the outside noise and really being the operant power in your life. Take control, you guys. Take charge of your life. Take charge of who you are being, and who you are becoming. Stop being a victim of circumstance, because understand these circumstances were also created by you and your way of thinking. Either way, you're in control. So be in actual control. All right. We have trust your path, birthing a new age, and deep replenishment. All right. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Thank you for the confirmation, Spirit. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. As I said to y'all, this is the perfect confirmation to close out today's reading. Take a break. Go into solitude. Start trusting yourself again. Fall back in love with yourself so deeply that there's no one that you trust more than yourself. Trust your higher self. Come into connection with your higher self, and then manifest the life of your dreams. Change your thought process. Change the perspective. All right? What you think is what you will create. Remember what I told you guys yesterday? The number 3 is the number of the manifestation in numerology. All right. Number 3 is a number of manifestation in numerology. I told you guys this yesterday that it was going to be time for you to start transmuting and creating the life of your dreams. And as you are in this retreat stage, as you are in this meditative state, as you are changing the way you think and changing the way that you feel, you need to be resting. Okay. There is a time and a place for everything. Take a break, rest, replenish. As you are revisiting everything that has happened and you're reevaluating all the things that have transpired, make sure that you give yourself time to rest. When you are coming out of deep emotional situations, your body is exhausted and you have to take that time to rejuvenate yourself, okay? That is it for today's reading. I hope that this was beneficial to you guys. I hope that this brought you some clarity. And also, I'm hoping that this will motivate you guys to really prioritize yourselves, fall in love with yourself, and put yourself so high up on the fucking pedestal that the peasants cannot reach you. Only people who are residing in this boss, self-sufficient, self-loving, clear-headed way of thinking and being can interact with you, okay? Put yourself up so high that your boundaries, everybody around you will know that your boundaries are non-negotiable, all right? I love you guys. Peace, love, and light.